There's a lot of misinformation surrounding this news, but it's still something that I want to talk about, do my best to be accurate on, because I will state that nobody has all of the answers yet, as this has a lot to do with the PlayStation 5. And also sort of throw my hat in the ring on, because I find it pretty annoying, but also just a huge miscommunication and a step backwards. Now, Sony did release the PlayStation 4 System Software Update 8.0 the other day, and this brought some changes to PlayStation. It allowed third-party authentication apps to be used with official support for two-step verification, some stuff like that for logging in, better security. There are good things that came with this update. However, there's a lot of problems as well, including something that's very problematic, which is the addition of PlayStation 5 party chat recording. Now, you're going to say, now wait, Jay, you could already do this. Now, not everybody knew you could do this, first off. You were already able to record party chat audio through game clips and broadcasts pretty easily. And now, also, it's worth noting that you could opt out of that, and that ability is still there on PlayStation 4. So what's the difference here? Well, now, when players are logging in, they are getting a lot of different messages joining parties or joining voice chat parties, or setting them up, that voice chats may be recorded for moderation. By joining, you agree to being recorded. A lot of players were really upset about this. They were saying, why is Sony recording me? What's the deal? Why are they doing this? Sony did come out and clarify that they don't actually record PlayStation chats, PlayStation party chats. They're not the ones recording it. Now, I have a hard time believing that already, but that's because I'm a little bit more on the paranoid side when it comes to tech, so take that for what you will. However, they say that they are not the ones doing that. Really what it is allowing the feature on PlayStation 5 that party chats can be more easily recorded with clips in order to record somebody's statements through the voice chat and report them to Sony moderation. Sony left an actual blog post updating it as well. I don't know why they all use blog posts. Nobody reads these things. But they said, following this update, users are seeing a notification about party safety and that voice chats in parties may be recorded. Voice chat recording for moderation is a feature that will be available on PS5 when it launches and will enable users to record their voice chats on PS5 and submit them for moderation review. The pop-up you're seeing on PS4 right now is to let you know that when you participate in a chat with a PS5 user post-launch, they may submit those recordings from their PS5 console to Sony Interactive Entertainment. It's worth noting already that there were ways to get Sony clips of people's voices already. For example, if I was recording Fall Guys and I was playing it and I had a broadcast or a recording and somebody just straight up said something absolutely horrendous, technically there was a way for me to get that to Sony, but it seems that it will be a lot easier to do on the PS5. Why is this worth my time to talk about? Well, first off, there is a lot of misinformation around it. I'm going to just say, give Sony the benefit of the doubt here. I know I said I'm paranoid, but let's just give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they are not recording any of this. It is just other users. My main problem with this, with it being easier to do this and get it to Sony and stuff like that, is that this bar is constantly changing on what is and isn't okay under terms of service, under current culture, under any of it. Now, I'm going to do my best not to get political with this in any way, but we've seen that over time, people have gotten a lot more sensitive to things. And the terminology and words that are allowed and sentiments that are allowed and not seen as problematic have been narrowed in terms of a lot more things set people off and come off as offensive than they did in the past. And whether you're okay with that or not is not really the point on a cultural level, but the point is whether or not it's Sony's job to police that. And there's a few different scenarios I want to run you through here. One is a friend that I had, let's just name him Tommy. It's not close to his name at all. Well, let's just name him Tommy. I had this friend in college. This is a real story. He was on the autism spectrum. He had what he referred to as pretty severe Asperger's, but he was still high functioning. Now, why am I bringing this guy up? He played a lot of video games, a lot of online video games, and a problem that he had constantly in group situations was telling things like offensive jokes. Even I would have to walk him back, and you guys know me, offensive jokes don't bother me at all. By the way, to clarify, I feel like I made this point horribly because I actually don't find any of these jokes offensive, even that he told. I found most of them funny. I think in life you should have a sense of humor, not give people's humor power over you. Don't give them a lot of rises and reactions out of either their humor or them trying to push your buttons, etc. Because for real trolls, you're just giving them what they want. But I had to often walk back what he said for him, with him, because people around him would get very angry at him, not knowing that that was his situation, or that he didn't understand, thinking he was just being a dick, which was not the case at all. And frankly, I found him to be a hilarious guy, not gonna lie. But he really would push the line of what was acceptable because he didn't understand what was. And this was somebody who really had social issues with that because of being on the autism spectrum. So someone like him under this, and I'm trying to use this narrative, trying to figure out how to say it. I'm trying to use the sensitivity narrative to support my point here. Someone like him could get in a lot of trouble in PlayStation party chats for things that he doesn't know aren't okay. And the same people that I would say would be very much in support of narking on your friends or other people you meet online to the great overlords of Sony or of anybody in order to get them in trouble and remove problematic behavior, I would think those would be the same people defending someone like him because he doesn't know any better because of his mental state, because of the condition that he has and that he was born with. And that is for some reason if we are assuming that everybody on planet Earth is down with the idea of policing humor, is down with the idea of policing speech outside of insane circumstances, again, like threatening, doxing, extreme racial slurs, things like that. Instead, this could be very easily abused to get rid of wrong-think, or anything going against the general narrative, or anything deemed offensive by whoever is reviewing it. Because the problem is that not even everybody agrees that those things should be policed anyway. I would say the overwhelming majority disagrees with that sentiment, but you don't really hear from them as much, which is one reason I try to bring attention to this kind of stuff, because these people are very misguided, a lot of the people who want these things. And I think that there's good intentions behind it, but it's sort of like the road to hell. Another example of this as well is not even something like that, but the fact that some people are uninformed. I had a friend I was talking to the other day who didn't even know that dwarfism, that you would no longer refer to those people with what we call now the M word, which I don't care about that. I don't find that offensive at all. He didn't even know that that was considered an offensive slur now towards short people. That's the point that I'm getting to here, is that all of these things change all the time, and these terms of services are written so broadly that anything can be considered problematic and against terms of service if somebody wants it to be. Also, the Sony moderation team is not one person, just like any moderation team. And if I was on that moderation team and heard something offensive, I wouldn't care at all and would probably just pass on it unless it was ridiculously bad, like a hardcore racial slur or something awful like doxing or threatening behavior, etc., anything like that. But, Emily from the chat, who's 15 years old and has no life experience, I know she wouldn't have a job there, but I'm making a joke. She might hear something and say, oh man, that's really problematic. We got to get this user out of here. Things are changing a lot in the online landscape with what is and isn't okay. And my question is if it's Sony's job to actually police that beyond something really heinous. They have done a really bad job of actually communicating what they are going to do with this. They have said that they are not the ones recording it and that it will be more just everybody else that has the ability to. But really what I think that this is going to do is create an environment where no one wants to join parties without people that they really know, either in real life or that they know very well online, that they know won't narc on them and go report them for something that could or could not be bad. It just seems to be creating a worse environment for gamers in general. It's also weird because it seems to put PlayStation 4 players at a disadvantage to PlayStation 5 players, as there isn't really ridiculously easy ways to do this right now on PS4. And so even for the reasoning that they are saying this is for, right, for moderation purposes, how come somebody could get on a PS5 and be saying vile things to me while I'm on my PS4 in a party, and I couldn't easily get that to Sony Interactive Entertainment as easily as they can to report them? So who is this actually benefiting? Because I guarantee you there will be millions of PS4 players at launch who either couldn't get the PS5, couldn't afford it, couldn't find it because it sold out immediately and there's $1,000 listings on eBay still. Nice one, guys. This is just sad. I don't know how else to put it. On top of that, I think it's funny how this update also broke party chat in some ways, in terms of you can't even easily just invite another single person now. You have to click on messages or create new message groups in order to actually invite players to join a party on PlayStation. There's just so many problems with this that I find really funny. And the friends list isn't even loading right now for most players. And for maybe it is for you, but for a lot of players, myself included, you try to go to the friends list and it's taking forever to actually update and load. It's reminding me a lot less of the sleek PS4 software and more of the PS3. Oh man, this thing is really, you feel the bones grinding in the system trying to get things running when it comes to any online interactive feature. Now, I do want to say that there are some benefits to this. So for example, if you are in a party and someone is actually throwing around, I'm being serious here, I'm not memeing, hardcore racist hate speech towards another party member, or threatening them like, hey, I'm gonna kill you, or saying I'm gonna show up at your house, I know you live here, anything like that, yes, there is a positive to being able to get those things to Sony. And also, I do want to point out, I doubt most people who would have gotten mad at me for this video would have watched to this point, but I don't really care. I do want to point out, though, that you might be able to opt out of this with the PS4 opt-out function. As you were able on PS4 to opt out of getting your voice included in broadcasts and clips that were recorded, there is a possibility that the opt-out feature will also work for this, but I highly doubt that, and here's why. Why would you create this feature, right? Why would you create a feature that's created for submitting problematic behavior? Like, let's say I got on the mic and I was saying, I'm going to kill you, I'm coming to your house. Why would you create that reporting system if I could just know, oh, hey, I can just opt out of that and join this party chat and say those same things, and they can't do anything about it? Why would you create that system? It would make it so that there was no way to enforce this. So to me, it really means that this is going to end up being a thing that you cannot opt out of once it is fully implemented as an easier feature on PlayStation 5. I know for me, this means that I'm not going to be joining party chats with most people. I am not going to put myself in a position where I could get reported for something that I say, because long gaming sessions, you don't know if maybe some joke you make or some statement could be taken absolutely wrong out of context or anything like that. You just don't know. And it's really not worth it to put yourself in a situation where you could get in trouble for it. It really just seems, again, like sort of a situation of a cancel culture type mentality working its way and worming into video games in a space where most of us don't want it. Nobody likes it. And not that this is what I prefer, but most of us have pretty thick skin. You know, we're not absolute whiny piss babies who any little word or thing will set us off. I don't know who this is really going to help in the long run, and it seems like this is just very short-sighted and going to cause more problems than it will fix. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. I know some people will vehemently defend Sony for being Sony. I would rather hear why you actually think this is a good feature, not that you like the company. I mean, I'm sitting here with Sony's last multiple systems. I like Sony too as a company for what they make. Why are you okay with this? Why are you not okay with this? An actual take is what I'm very interested in. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like. I'm actually interested in your feedback. If you dislike it, leave a dislike. That's also actually helpful. It lets me know what you guys enjoy or don't enjoy, and it gives me engagement. And don't tell anybody, but that is actually helpful, even if it's bad. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a fantastic day. And as always, stay shui.